Hi, this is Micornus, Phokane, the leader and the founder of the Young Men Empowerment Forum. And I'm embarking on part two today of this great topic that speaks about the tips of a young man of how to conquer the world. Tips of how to conquer the world as a young man. And this is part two of this great topic today. And today I want to urge you as a young man that if you want to conquer the world and be on top of the world, you must sleep sufficiently. And these are very practical things and things that you may take them for granted, but they're very key actually, because sleeping enough or sleeping sufficiently, it is very, very important. And I want to tell you why. Because sleeping sufficiently would actually produce what we call a well-rested body, well-rested mind as well. When you are well-rested in your mind, you can think properly. You can think better. You can actually be creative in everything that you do. You can actually think in new ideas that you would never have thought about before. And you will be able actually to apply your mind better in any project that you do. A well-rested body is energetic in nature. It is able, therefore, to apply itself in every project, in every work that it does for that particular day. So therefore, it is very important that we emphasize that you sleep sufficiently as a young man. If you want to be a conqueror of the world, you need to sleep enough. And by the main, we always advise that at least sleep 6 to 8 hours to the minimum. And that is very important. And I know people that sleep very little, 1 hour, 2 hours, but they're forever tired. And wherever they sit, they sleep. Wherever they sleep, they're gone with sleep. And therefore, you will realize that also they don't have enough concentration level. And most of the things that they do them half done, and they move on to something else, and they cannot complete the project as well. When you don't sleep enough, you have got a tendency of being forgetful now as well. And it also slows your activity of the body when you are sleepy. You must watch when you are driving. If you are driving a long distance and you are sleepy and tired, you would actually find yourself even losing concentration on the road. And that is why you even advise to rest, take breaks, and sleep enough, because it's very important that you don't drive while you are tired the way you are and sleepy along the way. Sleep enough, please, as a young man, if you want to be on top of the world. It is very dangerous not to sleep enough, because if you are working, say, as a young man with machinery that are dangerous, you may actually endanger yourself as well. It becomes very key as well that if you are somebody who is studying, if you don't sleep enough, you're going to miss out, and you may fail even the courses and subjects that you're studying just because you don't sleep enough and you don't have time to reflect as well. Because even if you're going to walk into an exam room, I want you as a young man to remember that if you have slept enough the previous night, there are going to be creative thoughts that will bring to answer even on material that you never studied. It is going to, your mind is going to be thinking out of the box. You're going to be able to actually apply your mind in a way that you'll respond to questions that might be difficult actually to deal with. So I want to emphasize today that sleeping sufficiently is very, very important, because it does actually add some energy in you. It does add some efficiency in you. It adds some focus in you. And you are able actually to do things that you want to do, and everything that you've planned, you can be able to do it when you have slept sufficiently. And I want to urge you as a young man, make it a habit to sleep sufficiently each and every day. Because when you've done so, you'll see how effective your body will be. And you'll be productive in everything that you do, as I said, mentally and physically as well. Very, very key that we emphasize that. But I want you also to get this tip, that if you want to be on top of the world as a young man, you want to conquer the world as a young man, learn to dress smartly. Learn to dress smart at all times. And I want to emphasize this one, because there are some of us that don't realize how image speaks quite a lot outside. Remember that our lives are actually successful either because of our connection with people and how we deal with people. Our success is actually locked in people. Now, how people perceive you is how they're going to embrace you or reject you. How people perceive you is how they're going to deal with you or reject you. It is very important, therefore, that how you look and the image that you display, it is going to speak more on how people open doors for you. And some of us, we don't see doors open because of just how we dress. We are so shabby to an extent that nobody could actually believe that you are somebody who can be organized in anything. Remember that it creates a perception, because when somebody is dressed smartly, it looks like you are smart in your thinking as well. It means like you know what you're doing. It looks like you are actually more articulate in everything, because when you are looking smart, you're actually looking presentable in a way that everybody start to believe in everything that you bring. Because people believe in people that are looking smart, because people are actually taking perceptions into place, and you cannot deny that perceptions become reality to those that are perceiving it. So as a young man, how you look becomes very important. And that is why some of you have actually failed the interviews that you went to just because of your dress code, how you dressed. Please make sure that you dress smart. Make sure that you look smart as a young man, because that opens doors for you. And as it opens doors for you, you'll find yourself successful in many areas of your life. And I want to emphasize this because it is very, very key in your life. Whatever you do, you must look at it this way, that even though you may be a qualifying candidate, you are the most suited one in education. It is still going to boil down to how people look at you and then perceive you before they actually give you opportunity to become the person that is being employed in that particular position. When you are in an interview, the first impression lasts long. The way you walk when you enter, people are looking at what we call, are you presentable or not? Because smart dressing actually makes you presentable. It makes you to look smart, and then people embrace you because of that. So when you dress smart and you walk into an interview, half the job is done, because the perception of the people is already being swayed to look up to you, to say this person can produce something just by the way they look. And I know it may sound biased, it may sound unfair, but it is what it is in life, whereby people respect people that are looking smart. So how you dress as a young man becomes very key and very, very important as well. And I want to also emphasize that some of us, we ignore that how you dressed is basically how everybody else is going to listen to you. Because people listen to people that are dressed in a certain way, because they relate you to some certain standard and some certain status. And it's just how it is in life, that people listen to people because of how people look. The other thing that I want you to do as a tip, as a young man, is you must act fearlessly in life. Now, when we speak about acting fearlessly, we speak about be bold, trust yourself, have self-trust, and please have what we call self-image, whereby you're actually confident enough to approach every situation fearlessly. There are times when we are failing in situations just because we are so fearful. And as a result, because you are so fearful, you must realize that you lose the track of thoughts when you are fearful, because you're panicking and you cannot focus on the work at hand. Majority of people have even failed in exams just because of the fear that is harbored in them. And they are trembling and they cannot think straight. They cannot actually think out of the box and think of the answers that they've also prepared, purely because they are fearful and afraid. When you start to rise up as a young man and become fearless in everything that you do, people are respecting people that are fearless. Because the more you're fearless, people think that you know exactly what to do. And I must give an example, that if you are singing, and you are fearless in your singing, even when you are making mistakes in your singing, but fearlessly continue singing boldly, people look up to you and they think that the song goes just like that. And that's how people look at things in this life. And people that are fearless are already able to enter doors that many people cannot enter. They're able to meet people that people are afraid to meet. They're able to speak to people of certain status that people are afraid to speak to. Now, as a young man, be fearless in approach, because you are going to need situations that will need you to approach them even though they may look to be intimidating. So when you are fearless, you are not intimidated by situations. You will never be intimidated by people as well. And you will progressively approach situations whenever you need to approach them. And I want to emphasize that as a young man, if you want to be a conqueror of the world, you want to be on top of the world in everything that you do, please act fearlessly at all times. I want to end up here today, your host, Micornus Phokane. Remember, this was part 2 of this great topic. We'll embark on part 3 tomorrow. But I want you to also like our Facebook page, Young Men Empowerment Forum, and Micornus Phokane. Also subscribe to our YouTube channel and make sure that you follow us and all the teachings that we posted there. They will help you as a young man, and your life shall never be the same again. I want to end up here today, your host, Micornus Phokane, once more, the founder and leader of Young Men Empowerment Forum. Allow me to check out here and say cheers for now.